Take-Two Interactive slipping after the video game maker reported its fourth quarter results after the bell. The company issued weaker than expected guidance for the full year bookings, but stock, we mentioned, it's up 60% year on year. Joining us right now to break down the numbers and what is going on. We'll also talk about Grand Theft Auto, as you might imagine. Strauss Zelnick is here, Take-Two chairman and CEO. What is going on? Where are we here?
Listen, we just reported a great year, pretty much firing across the entire range of the company. So Rockstar reported a better quarter for Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto Online. 2K had terrific releases with Civ 7. NBA is up year over year, sold in almost 10 million units. And Zynga has multiple hits in market, which is tough to do in the mobile space.
But everybody's focused on Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Like that is the...
Is that a but? That seems like an and.
But the fact that your shares could be up 60% with the release delay of that by another 6 months
That's what I was going to ask. Let's talk about the delay, because people just want to understand what's happening there.
Well, it's pretty short delay. It's less than 6 months. And generally, when we announce a date certain, we're able to hit that date. But the key thing is that Rockstar Games is trying to create the best thing anyone's ever seen in entertainment, not just interactive entertainment. That's a tall order, and I think consumers have huge hopes for the title. We just launched the second trailer to 475 million views in 24 hours, setting a new record. The last record, incidentally, was ours.
How much do you think the whole system was thinking about that in terms of the ecosystem? Was for the holidays? Was thinking about that game?
Well, let's not overstate the case. We all look at one another's release schedule and make sure that we don't stack up releases. So that's not unique to Grand Theft Auto. But the delay itself is really a reflection of desire to polish and create the best possible experience for consumers. And we as a company have been known not to have sort of slavish devotion to release dates, but rather to seek the highest quality entertainment. And that's really, supported our success over many years.
Have you played with it? Have you seen it?
Is it done? Is it ready?
Done? You don't play a lot.
Still rendering?
I'm not a gamer.
We were talking about this earlier. You don't play a lot.
So not a lot. I don't play video games.
At all?
No, I do not. I'm not the consumer in chief. I am responsible for...
So when they show you the game...
Right.
Do you offer notes on the game? How does that work?
I share my opinions pretty openly. I think being the consumer in chief in an entertainment business as the CEO is probably a mistake. I wasn't the consumer in chief in the movie business or the television business or the music business, even though, I certainly can read a script and I definitely love music and I was a musician. That's not my role. My role is to attract, retain, and motivate the best talent in the business and then get out of their way.
In terms of just trends in the business, how much of it is going mobile and how much do you think stays on the console?
Well, mobile is a fast-growing part of our business, and the interactive entertainment business broadly is the fastest-growing part of the entertainment business. The reason that we acquired Zynga nearly 3 years ago is because mobile is such an important part of the business. Today, that's a little bit over 50% of our net bookings, and it's going incredibly well.
And what does that look like to you 5 years from now?
Well, that's actually the point. The reason that we made that decision at the time that we did was I looked actually 10 years down the road and said, I can't imagine in 10 years only being exposed to console and PC. I think we have to be exposed to mobile. That's where a huge part of the market is. That's basically our older consumers and our female consumers are actively in the mobile business.
And so it's different. That's what's interesting about it is, okay, people are going to be on the phone, but they're still the core gamers are not necessarily migrating in the same way.
It's not a migration. It's in the same way that people aren't migrating from half-hour comedies to 2-hour movies. And people aren't migrating from 2-hour movies to TikTok. These serve different needs at different times and sometimes different populations.
Can I ask you to weigh in on a headline this morning? Because I'm curious what you think. I don't know if you saw Charter is merging with Cox.
I did.
And I would imagine broadband is an important part of the way you think about how you get these games to people.
Absolutely.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think happens? Do you think the government allows this? And do you think there's going to be a lot more of these mergers?
I think the combined market share is such that this FTC is likely to be friendly to the deal. I think the last FTC obviously would have stood in the way because...
what else would they do?
Well, exactly. Okay. I mean, they stood in the way of you grabbing a taxi on Broadway. So I think it'll probably be fine. I think it's a reflection of the fact that with cable programming going where it's going, which is to say in a southerly direction, what remains is a really good distribution business, and that consolidation makes sense.
Is the satellite business matter to you? Do you think about that? We were talking. I only mentioned that because we were talking about sort of the train tracks and the idea that maybe satellite is ultimately going to upend the value of those train tracks.
It's really, I mean, what you're saying with new satellites is actually just traditional overbuilding. But overbuilding is valuable when people are underserved in areas that have fiber.
Right.
And that does still exist both here and outside of the U.S. So I'm not worried about overbuilding actually destroying value in distribution because, first of all, it's not historically the case. Secondly, there's so much opportunity for broader distribution. From our point of view, as an entertainment company, a software creator, more distribution, better distribution, always a good thing.
You want the overbuilding.
Well, we want to be able to reach consumers wherever they are in the highest quality way.
Which may include, we talk about, and maybe, we could talk a little bit about whether it is the Middle East or other regions that you're eyeing for expansion, but, these are not, it's not just kind of industrial businesses that have their eye on those dollars. And I think that was highlighted with the president's trip this week, and some of it was all about AI. This is not the oil stories from 20 and 30 years ago.
Oh, that's right. And look, our business still is basically a United States and Western Europe and selected parts of Asia story. That's where our revenue comes from. And yet there's this massive growing market of consumers who love video games located in the Middle East, located in India, located in Africa. We are not serving that population in the way we need to. And if we don't focus on that now, where we're going to be in 10 years. Right. So,
is the internet a part of that? I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, distribution, obviously, higher quality, particularly for Africa and India, is a big issue. The region, Middle East, is pretty well developed.
Let me ask you a different question.
Infrastructure point of view.